Howdy, Possum Patty here, and today is Watercolor Wednesday. Come on along. Now, Watercolor Wednesday is hosted by Tanya at Side Gig Crafts. And it's not a professional online watercolor course. No, this is just our friendly community coming together on Wednesdays to take out our watercolor art supplies and have a play. So why don't you join us? I've got my watercolor palette. I've got my water, which looks a little dirty. Might have to change that out. I got my number 6 round, ultra round brush. This is a Lowell Cornell, number 6 round. And this is the page I was working on my last Watercolor Wednesday that I did. And I really want to practice some more birds, but I also would like to learn how to do those loose watercolor roses. I got a few pages left in here. So I think what I'm going to do first is another bird. And I'm going to take just a very light sort of blue-grayish color. I've been watching a couple people make different kinds of birds. And this is going to be almost invisible, but kind of make a head. I know you can't see this, but this is just to get the shape of the bird. And let's see, a little belly. So I don't like too, I don't know, that one got kind of funky. Well, we won't talk about that one. Just need a lot of practice. Like anything, you just need to practice. Let's see if the head is up here, if he's looking that way, and then the back, and then there's a tail that comes up like that, let's say. Sorry if you can't see this. I'll be putting some color on it in a minute. I'm just trying to make a wet spot. Sort of like that. Sort of like that. So what color should we make this bird? Let's see. I want to make it a bluebird, an American bluebird, which kind of looks like a European robin, but blue. So you can see when I put the blue on that the paper is wet already. Bluebirds have a red breast. Put a little tail. Put a little wing. Now these are not realistic birds. These are just, I'm going to add a little darker blue. I'm using cerulean and a little ultramarine. Put a little bit darker at the top. It's going to take me a while because I just would like to learn how to do these sort of abstract, kind of folk artish birds that are like just for fun. Just for fun. Something like that. Sorry about the shadow. And let's see, I need a little rose on the belly. So I'm using a little of my opera pink. Now the whole point is to drop the colors in while the bird is wet and not to go back and fuss like I did with this one. So however this comes out, this is going to be how it's going to stay. This is going to be how it's going to stay. Yeah. So sorry about the shadow here today. So I want this to just be very loose and very watery. So I'm not just like dropping color in. Just drop the color in, barely touching the paper, and just letting the water do its thing there. I would like it to be a little tiny bit darker there. I'm afraid to touch it, but let's see. Maybe if I put a little crimson on there. Just very, very lightly. And that's it. Now I'm going to leave it, let it dry, and put in the details. All right, I couldn't leave it alone. Sorry about that. I started trying it, and I was like, oh, I don't really like that darker color I put in. So I didn't want to do this, but now I'm doing it. See, it's going to leave a line there, and I didn't want to have those lines. So I don't know if I can get away with touching it up or not. I don't want to lose that little white spot, because sometimes those little white spots are just perfect. Just perfect. I'm going to leave this kind of white back here. They've got these little fluffy feathers where they sit on the nest. I didn't want to make them that big. No, I didn't want to make them that big. So, yeah, it's really, really hard to leave things alone. It's really, really hard to leave things alone. Yep. Okay, I'm going to let this one dry before I put the details. And I absolutely did everything I said I wasn't going to do. But that's okay, because this is all practice, practice, learn, learn, learn. All right, so I'm going to try again. So this is like a head, and then I'm coming down. Even if you can't see what I'm putting on the paper, just watch my brush. The shape of the belly. And a short back. I always tend to make the backs too long. Sorry about my shadow there. And let's see, I want to get this all wet. And then a sprightly tail coming up. Maybe just a little hint of a wing coming down here. And I think I got the head too big here. I want the head just to be, I can make the belly a little bigger, I guess. Oh, well, I guess you can do 100 of them. You know, I've watched professional watercolorists, and they do practice. And they have notebooks full of practicing. And they don't always come out exactly the way they want them to. I'm going to have to clean my water. Putting red and blue in the same water makes mud. Makes mud, yep. So, but I'm trying to work quickly now because I'm trying to do this while it's still wet. See, now I've got all those hard lines in there because I did everything I said I wasn't going to do. See, I'm supposed to be learning from what I did wrong that one, and then I went ahead and did it all again on that one. So I want just a little bit of fuzz down here. All right, don't touch it. However it comes out, it's gonna come out. And let's get that belly in there before this dries. All right, I'm gonna let this dry and clean my water. Okay, you can see here this hard line, and that's exactly what I didn't want, because I went back in over what I had already done, and I made a big blob there, and this is not too bad here, but yeah, all of this is exactly what I didn't want. So this one I laid it in while everything was wet, and I'm going to leave it exactly like that. Exactly like that. I wanted to put some legs, but I made them so big now that there's not a lot of room for legs. Unless I put them on a branch. I wanted to make a standing up guy, but the legs kind of go like that. Can I just fit them in? Probably put that at too much of an angle. Okay, well, this is practice. Well, this is practice. This is practice. And I don't know if I want to put in a line there, but that's fine. Okay. So it's kind of looking up a little bit. All right, so we're going to give him a little beak. Oh, I have to paint the beak. Oh, I didn't paint the beak. And the eye is kind of like right behind the beak. So I have to paint that in, don't I? So if you want to scribble on your painting, feel free. Let's get the little fluff back here. What I like to do is make some of the lines go out into the white. Birds have like 3 toes forward and 1 back. Songbirds. Scaly legs. Alright, so now I need orange. I get the box back up here. I cleaned my water while those were drying. Open this back up. I'm going to draw on that one. Oops. I'm going to draw on that one too because I need my practice. Alright. Am I in frame? Yes, I am. Give him orange bill. And give this guy. And give him some orange legs. I don't know what color Bluebird's legs are. should look it up. But since this is a imaginary bird based on a bluebird, it doesn't really matter, does it? Right, I got a white gel pen. I'm just barely touching the paper. Barely, barely, barely touching. I want my white dot to be whiter. But it's not getting whiter. Clean off my point. Come on. Here we go. Okay. Not too bad for number 2 and 3. Still needs a lot of improvement here. And when I self-criticize, it is always constructive. I'm not doing it to put myself down in any way. I am just always looking to see how I can improve. Oh, you know, maybe if I put some white gel on there. I'll get a little fluffy back here, some tail feathers up here, a couple little things up there, little fluffy bits. I can put some fluff here where this hard line is. Am I still in frame? Fix him up. I don't have any room for legs. His legs are a little bit crooked, but that's okay. This guy's still cute. We can make him, make this one sitting on a branch. Now this little guy's sitting on a branch. There we go. Well, I think he's cute too. I just never should have gone in there with more water on top of what I was doing. I do this all the time. I turn my paper, turn the paper. I'm just, what do you call this here? I don't know. Free drawing, free scribbling on top of the bird. Making that look like the back of his head there. So he's kind of turned the other way. Okay, this... I like this one. I think he's really cute. I wish I didn't add any paint. He would have been perfect. This one I made a little too big, so I had to kind of squash the legs in. But I like the way he's all watery. So what I could do now, move my paint out of the way for a minute there. Okay, today is Watercolor Wednesday, January the 25th. Okay, I'm just going to write here, Watercolor Wednesday. And this is 125-23. Bird practice. And you keep your practice so you can move on from where you are here. So I'm going to take notes. Oh, you know what? Should I paint in his little stem? Yeah, we got paints out and we want to paint. It's all about painting. Let's see, grab a little brown something. I did spray these earlier, but they dried up a little bit. Making it a little darker under there. Can't see his feet too much, but that's okay. Some brown, looking for some brown here. That one's kind of reddish. All right. Go back to making some notes. You hear things falling on my desk. Whoops. Bird practice. So this one was, I didn't go back in on this one, so I didn't go back in on this one. So nice and watery. But too big, too close to the bottom of the page to get legs in, to get legs in. Okay, there's my notes for that one. So I probably should have a little bit longer. Well, you know, not necessarily. Yeah, he's so fat he probably should have a better angle on those legs. So we're going to question the angle. I'm going to have to practice with that. Do I like the little bit of black pen on there? Yes, I kind of do. Do I like that there's white spots? Yeah, I like that. This one sitting on the branch is cute, but fussed too much. Went back in. And when I say went back in, that means the original color that I had down, I should have left it like I did on this one. I kept going back in and fussing and fussing. So I got hard lines. I put equal hard lines, and I didn't like the dark that I put on there. The dark added. So this was my first one. I'll make some notes for him too. First try, first go. Fussed way too much. Okay, so this is a learning experience, and the only way you get better is to do it. Practice, practice, play, 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 practice, 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 and that's how you get better. So those are my cute little bluebirds for today. I think it went a little bit better than that one. I mean, even if he is cute, I just kept going back and back and back and back and back. And, you know, that's not the whole point. The whole point is to make a loose, quick watercolor bird, lay down some water, drop in some color, let it dry, maybe go in with a pen to make a couple of details, and that's it. Leave it alone. Well, I think that made some progress today. And like I said, I want to make some more of these birds, and I also want to start doing those really pretty loose watercolor roses that everyone does. I would like to just be able to pick up the brush and go shh, 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 and have one of those really pretty roses. So I'm going to practice that too. So thanks for joining in for hashtag Watercolor Wednesdays, hosted by Tanya at Side Gig Craft. If you like to join in any any kind of watercolor media. I know Tanya this week was using watercolor crayons, and there's watercolor pencils, and there's watercolors, and there's gouache. So any watercolor media that you have, and just, you know, if you don't have any experience, that's fine. Never take lessons, that's fine. Just play with your watercolors. The more you do, the better you get. So thanks for coming along today. Bye-bye.